Sometimes art is prophetic, and sometimes I don't know how to offset it. The words too authentic to constantly do what I do and augment it. Y'all talk a big game, can't tell if y'all meant it. As seconds turns to minutes, the ticking will tell all. Will you hold firm or steadily fall? Will you conform with the ways of the world, or will you give the world everything that you are? Make them fuckers move around you, kinda like sound do. Break out of everything that they had you bound to. You got knocked down, ho, get ready for round two. It's round two. Get ready for round two. Come back, run rap, run laps around these cats, jump back, kiss myself, still keeping me intact. Weird and black, they for that, hold up, steer it back. Weird and black, they revere that, yup, you hear that?
Turnstile, switch it up. Young nigga raised hard, he learned not to give a fuck. Young nigga came far, still never give enough. Coming with the flavor, delicious, so she lick it up. Bust down, stick it up, I put it down, so pick it up. Scud town, saviors, done some till he shift to musk. Stench so stank that the shit compare soft to us. Crud so dank, make your face smell to dripping, cuz club go shake when the bass gets to hitting ya. They ain't really hearing us, but they gon' feel something when the way is paved clear enough. I don't fear nothing but the fate, is God really not? Well, fuck it, got the world in my hands, and that's real enough. Fuck it, got the world in my hands, gold forms to touch. Might just spend it all one time to give it all to us. Yeah, give it all to us.
Yeah. This that hip-hop body rock, hardcore karate chop, neo-Nazi nasty, not feel it in my chest. How could you wear that name? Must be automatic shame. He's an automatic lame, heard it from the best. Fresh flow, let's go, plus I got a lot of heart. It's necessary when you dabble in this art. Grab canvas, paint picture, use them acrylics, paint a picture so vivid, the people gotta feel it like the Kaaba. Lyrics bear fruit like guava, words spilling out of my brain like lava. Spills out the top of a volcano, and they know that A-Right is not the one to play no. I'm Kano in Mortal Kombat, cause the lyrics like blades. Aim it at your jugular when I'm on stage. Until you heard me spit, homie, you ain't heard rage. On another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it how I do, it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. My crew's the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of roses I make bumping in your system. I mean, banging in it, I'm still hanging in it. I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need it. And I want you to succeed, I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample from me, so get up.
the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No, high Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man. Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches. What is going on, folks? Welcome back to After Further Review. This is episode 152. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
And I'm your wonderful co-host, Malin.
And I am your other great co-host, Nestor.
Yes, he is. He is still in Sarasota. No, he's not in Sarasota anymore. He's
Now in Tampa.
right. He's with
Took
the rest of us.
drive up from Sarasota to Tampa.
Yes, he is out of his witness protection program. He's allowed to live a free life right now, for the time being.
I mean, sort of. That room doesn't exactly scream freedom.
Yeah, compared to the other one.
Yeah, folks, this is the show where we talk everything NFL and NBA. In case you're new to the podcast, welcome. We usually open up the show with a nice cheers. So if you got them, raise them up on high. There's the camera. Thank you very much. Cheers, good sir.
Used my special Colombian shot glass, taken from a baby cow's. I don't know what it's called.
What? Is that a hoof?
Yeah, it's a hoof. I got it in the mountains in Bogota.
What the hell are they doing in Colombia?
A calf's hoof.
Apparently making shot glasses out of this.
Y'all
It's also
just,
laced with cocaine. But yeah.
y'all just taking the feet off of baby cows and turning them into shot glasses.
Well, yes, folks. For all the people that are new here, we live stream the show every Wednesday night on YouTube at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So click that first link down in your podcast description below to be taken to the YouTube version of this episode. Give the video a like and be sure to subscribe. That way you can keep up every time we go live and you can tune in next time. And if you are one of the very, very select people that watch us live on YouTube, you can get the audio version on your favorite podcast platform if you just click the link down in the YouTube description below. Be sure to rate us 5 stars on Apple and or Spotify. Probably Apple and Spotify because it'll help us out a lot. But with that being said, gentlemen, let's get into the actual show here. So tomorrow we are back in business. The NFL resumes. We've got the Detroit and Kansas City game to kick things off. And then, of course, everything kind of resumes as normal come Sunday for the rest of week 1 and then Monday. But, yeah, I figured we use this kickoff eve to give our predictions for who's coming out of the AFC, the NFC, Super Bowl preview, and then who we think is going to win MVP this year. So let's start off with the AFC and who we think is going to win the AFC this year. Malin, would you like to go first?
I picked the Bengals to win the AFC this year. They've obviously gone to the Super Bowl. They were on the doorstep last year. They're the only team in the AFC that even remotely has Kansas City's number. I do feel like Kansas City's going to take a little bit of a step back this year. When I say a little bit, that means I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to be right there in the thick of it. I think they'll probably go to the AFC Championship game. And Cincy will have to go through them. But when I think about it, I'm still not sold on Lamar Jackson's health with the way they run their offense. I think that the Jaguars are going to have to take another incremental step another step forward. You got to see what Lawrence does this year with Calvin Ridley. Let's see if Etienne can stay healthy. Tank Gidsby could be a good solid number two back, but I want to see that defense of the Jaguars. And the Bills, I just think are snake bitten.
Mhm.
I think they're going to end up being one of those teams that is always on the cusp, but might not ever truly get there, which is sad because they went through the same thing in the '90s. But you think of like the Eagles in the early 2000s with Donovan McNabb going to the NFC Championship game all the time and never quite getting to a Super Bowl. Um, I just kind of feel like they're at that place. They had their shot a couple years ago, and then I feel like the Bengals jumped them, and I think they got a better defense, and I think they got a better roster top to bottom. So I'm going with Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
I'll go real quick because I'm seconding that. I've got Cincy coming out of the AFC for all the same reasons that you just mentioned. I do think that, well, I mean, the game will either be in Kansas City or in Cincinnati, but I think that Cincy's got their number, and at this point, they've been knocking on the door a few times. I mean, hey, they did beat them 2 years ago to go to the Super Bowl to play the Rams, so they know how to do it. Last year's AFC Championship game was just crazy. Bengals really should have won that game. Won't get into the politics of that one, but they know how to do it, and I think they're still the best equipped team to take down Kansas City. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Joe Burrow in another Super Bowl. But Nestor, who do you think is coming to the AFC?
Um, my picks for both AFC and NFC are quite boring, to be honest with you. But I'll try to make it interesting. I think the Chiefs are winning the AFC, but I think the Bengals will give them a run for their money, but I think it's just not going to be enough in the end, and we're all going to be very disappointed because I would rather see Cincy moving through instead of uh, Kansas City and seeing Mahomes again solidify himself even more as one of the greats. Like it would, yeah, I wouldn't want to see that all over again. But like Milan said, I don't really believe in the Bills. Um, we saw last season how it was going for Josh Allen. He's a beast, but he is making dumb mistakes, and I feel like this is one of the like if it's not this season, it's probably the next one where they have to get it done, and they know that because I feel like their pieces are gonna start moving out. Um, so it's kind of like getting to that point where it's now or never. Um, that's how I feel, and I think they're not gonna get it done, unfortunately. Actually, as far as the Ravens, um, my Dolphins were beating the Ravens. We were beating the Bills. I just don't think the Ravens are good enough. And I'm not even, yeah, bragging about my Dolphins. I'm just saying if you can't beat us, then what are we even talking about? Why are we
So,
talking about putting you up there with these teams? Um,
so
I
you
could
have your
even
Dolphins going to the playoffs.
I could see the Dolphins beating the Bills in a what is it, like a wild card? I could see that happening.
I
And
didn't even have
eventually
in the playoffs. Who were your playoff teams? We didn't even really get into like who we had
we
in the
did it.
playoffs.
Right. When it came to the
But
division.
but I could see my Dolphins moving up to, eventually losing out in the AFC Championship against Chiefs. Or no, I'm sorry, before that, probably
Like the
before that.
divisional round.
Yeah, divisional round. So I think I have more faith in my Dolphins moving above like whatever the Bills or the Ravens will do. But I think unfortunately in the end it's going to be the Chiefs. I think they make it work, even with these like what is it? These younger guys that they have now. Mahomes is just too good, and even though since he has an improved O line, I don't think it's gonna be enough, honestly.
All
I
right.
mean, we didn't even really talk about the Chargers though. Like,
Yeah.
There's some
I
hype
actually,
on them.
I actually think the Chargers. I don't have the Dolphins going to the playoffs. Oddly enough, the seventh seed for me was the Broncos. um, in the system that I did, which really kind of threw me for a loop because I don't like the Broncos and I don't want them to be in the playoffs. I would actually much rather have the Dolphins in the playoffs. I got to be honest with you. Um, but I still think that the Chargers are they're 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 like the Jaguars. They need to prove it. They need to get past the divisional round. They need to get to the AFC Championship game before you can say, yeah, that team could unseat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, at the end of the day, I think the Bills and the Bengals are the only two that could do it, but I don't see the Bills getting there.
Gotcha.
Whoa. Wait a
Money.
minute, gentlemen. I don't know how you guys are missing out on the Jets. You know, I don't know how you can just kind of go to sleep on a top 5 defense that had defensive rookie of the year, had an outstanding D line, and let's not forget that Jets had the offensive rookie of the year, and really, if Bryce Hall hadn't have been injured, it could have been a tie between him and Garrison. It could have been, and now they've got a quarterback. Yeah, he's old, but he's a whole hell of a lot better than I Want to Sleep with Your Mom
All right.
quarterback that they had last year. I mean, the Jets. That's my sleeper pick to take the AFC and go to the Super Bowl. The defense is solid. The offense. I mean, this has got to be probably the best offense that Aaron Rodgers has ever had. Really, when you look at it, look at the wide receivers, look at the running backs. I mean, they signed Dalvin Cook, and the O line is solid. Probably a lot more solid than what he had at Green Bay. I mean, you could almost make a case for when Tom Brady went to Tampa.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Jets will have a little bit of growing pains like the Bucks did with Tom Brady in 2020? Because remember, I think the Bucks were 6-5 at one point and had to rattle off like 5 straight wins to finish 11-5 that year.
I think I've got to look at their schedule for this year, but I don't think really. I should have pulled up my notes on that. Was that initially their schedule is really that bad in the beginning? So I mean, let's take a quick look here.
I mean, in the first 6 weeks, they play the Bills, the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Eagles. It's not the easiest first 6 weeks.
It's not. But, I mean, the Cowboys. You look at them and you say, yeah, it's a decent team, but you question the coaching at times. The Eagles, you're gonna wonder about the defense, and since they lost their D coordinator to become the head coach of the Cardinals, you have to see if there's going to be a drop off there. And plus, the O line with the Eagles last year was old anyway. Now it's just getting older. And at some point, you hit a stage where you can't play as well as you did. And God, that D line that the Jets have, and the D backs, but the D line is really important to getting that rush, stopping the run. And let's not forget that now they're running with often injured Penny and DeAndre Not So Swift.
I love how you give them nicknames like I do. I mean, hey man, the Jets are it's a. I'll stop short of saying it's a bold pick. It's definitely kind of a hot take a little bit. I think most people are saying that they have the potential to get to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
When I'm looking through the games that I picked, Jalen, I actually had them finishing 8-9, and I had the Patriots beating them both times. I don't know why I did that. They could easily end up 10-7 and making the wild card. Yeah, that'd be that. Interesting.
Yeah, and they're definitely following the formula that has worked these last few years outside of the Chiefs last year, but of Tampa and LA getting the veteran quarterback and then just building a high powered offense around them. So we'll see.
If if Aaron Rodgers leapfrogs all these young bucks and makes it to the Super Bowl when he couldn't make it to the Super Bowl in the NFC with the lack of competition, but he
Right.
goes through this gauntlet and makes it, that'll be a story.
We'll never hear the end of it. But let's switch gears to the NFC and who we think is coming out of there. Malin, would you like to go first?
Uh, yeah, I have a hard time not picking the Eagles on this one. Um, I just they didn't they didn't lose anyone of significance value. Gary's right that the O line is a little bit older, but some of the weapons that they have on offense are a little bit better also. AJ Brown is another year in the league. Deontay Smith has another year under his belt. Jalen Hurts, let's see what he can do after a full year of starting. They just, I don't, you don't, where do they end up? Like 9-0, 8-0, 9-0 to start the year? Like, you don't
Right.
get that way by accident. Um, and at some point, teams have tape on you, and they still just couldn't figure them out. And it took a Jalen Hurts injury for them to even stumble in the second half, and they still ended up being the best team in the NFC. So to me, they still got to be my favorite. I don't trust the Niners. I think a lot of the people they have are made of glass. They all have a history of injuries. Purdy with the elbow. Debo Samuel missed a couple games. Bosa is prone to miss 1 or 2 games. Um, Fred Warner, I think, is the most durable star that they have on that team. They're loaded, but that quarterback situation still just they go through quarterbacks like crazy. And if Purdy does get hurt, does anyone really think that Sam Darnold is going to rip off 8 straight wins like Purdy did last year and take you to the promised land? I don't think so. Sam Darnold is not that guy. I actually had the Seahawks going to the NFC Championship game. And I would really love for the Seahawks to make it back to the Super Bowl. Just personally, I think this is going to be that 2012 step for them where they're going to have a really good year and really contend in the playoffs. And then maybe next year we'll be talking about them being the Super Bowl contender once the draft class from last year has another year under their belt. The draft class we have this year, they got to be healthy. Our first, our 2 first rounders have already been hurt in training camp. I heard that Smith and Jigma might actually play in week 1, even though we just had surgery on his wrist 2 weeks ago. That's wild. Witherspoon is probably going to get held out with a hamstring for week 1. Um, but get those two healthy. But I don't want the Eagles to go back to the Super Bowl. Um, I just think they're the most solid team in the NFC right now, with the most depth, perhaps. And maybe I just felt like I was going to be a homer if I picked the Seahawks, but I think the Seahawks are close.
Nestor.
Yeah, like I said, boring picks. The Eagles. Um, I also think that I don't have much faith in Purdy and the Niners. I think they're gonna get far, obviously, but I think they actually, um, I think they'll end up not getting to the NFC Championship. I think it's gonna be, yeah, Seattle and the Eagles. I really do believe in that because I just think uh Gino's better. I think Gino's whole storyline, like from last season, it's you know quite the improvement, and they've improved so many parts of their team, and it's just really solid team. So maybe not this year, but I do think they're one of the better teams and they could get it done in the upcoming years. But for now, unfortunately, the Eagles.
Okay. G Money.
Yeah, pretty much what Nestor and Mail, and I hate to agree with both of them, had to say, but yeah, it's true. When you look at it, I mean, you look at the NFC right now. Look at Dallas, and you go, yeah, Dallas is pretty solid offensively and defensively, but you have to question the coaching because at times when it comes down to making that one call for that one play, they fuck it up.
And the quarterback.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at when they needed to make the drive, when they needed to make the play, and they called something that we might have called when we were playing backyard football, right? Sit down, draw it up, go, yeah, this is what we're going to do. It's going to work. Yeah, not so much. The 49ers, when was the last time Kyle Shanahan had a quarterback when he was either offensive coordinator or head coach that started the season as a starter and ended the season as the starter? Yeah, I don't think he ever has. Why? Because the man is an offensive genius. He really is. The plays he draws up and everything. But he's also a quarterback killer.
Was he the offensive coordinator of the Falcons when they went to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Was
yeah.
I think that's the only.
And that was the only time that he had. And then he basically, that last half, I don't know what the hell they played. I don't know if he was calling the plays or if the head coach at the time took over and said, I'm going to call the plays. That's it. But, he's a quarterback killer. Kills the quarterbacks. And so, yeah, Brock Purdy makes it through the end of the season? Probably not. Sam Darnold, I tell you what, if Sam Darnold starts at some point and plays 4 or 5 games, he'll look like he was at USC. Because that's the offense that they kind of call. But he'll get injured, and then you'll look at them going, geez, could we trade and get Lance back? Can we get Lance back? I just don't. I see them making the playoffs, and they are a solid team, and now they got Bosa back. Defensively, they're really good. And being a Seahawks fan, we know what Bosa can do. We've seen him one too many times. And I see the Seahawks making the play. I see the Seahawks going to the I don't see them going to the NFC Championship, but I see them advancing past the wild card stage and probably losing and then losing. But yeah, boring but Eagles.
Well, the biggest thing that kept me from the Cowboys was not even the coaching. And it's not even the decision making of Dak, because when Dak wasn't hurt, when Dak's not hurt, he plays a lot better, and he was still dealing with that with that thumb injury throughout the year last year. I'm not sold on the running game with Dallas. Pollard was not an every down back even in college. He was splitting carries. He's never had to be the featured back on a team. And I'm not sure of who they really have behind him. And so I'm worried about a one-dimensional Dallas offense that forces Dak to do things that he's not equipped to do talent-wise. And so I think at the end of the year, a lot of people are going to end up railing on Dak because of Dallas's shortcomings. But I think it's because they're going to put too much on his shoulders because the running game isn't going to be what it needs to be for Dallas. That defense is going to be legit, though. Defense is going to be solid.
Yeah, my pick is definitely not Dallas. I'm sorry, but between the running game, the coaching, and Dak Prescott, miss me with the Cowboys. The NFC is always kind of weird because it just always seems so random. Like the AFC has been a lot more consistent as of more late, with Kansas City dominating things and Cincinnati coming up. But the NFC is just all over the place, especially when, I swear, I feel like we do this every year, but it's like the team that was right there, that was right in the Super Bowl. The next year, they're just like they're terrible, and then we just get a completely random team. Like we go back between the Rams when they won, and now they're just awful. The Bucks weren't awful after they won the Super Bowl, but man, they were kind of awful. Outside of like the 49ers, most of the other NFC teams after they lose the Super Bowl just are not very good the next year. So I'm not going to play into that again. The Eagles, I think, will still be good, but I don't think they'll be nearly as good as they were last year for whatever reason. So then the question for me just became like, do I think it'll be San Francisco? No, just because of the quarterback situation. And then the rest of the NFC is just wide open. And honestly, I think the NFC Championship game is going to come down to Seattle and the Detroit Lions. I think Detroit is going to be very good this year. They're going to go on a Cinderella run, and I think Seattle's going to shut them down in the NFC Championship game.
That's really good for my fantasy.
And we're going to
You
have
think
Bengals
Seattle's going to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Oh,
because
man, even the Dreads, I should kiss you on the face.
I think a lot of the teams that have made the Super Bowl out of the NFC these last few years, they've gotten a taste of the playoffs, just barely made it through. Then they got annihilated by Tampa, and then the next year they go to the Super Bowl. So I don't know if the same thing falls through. Seattle, they had their taste last year. They just got better, and I think they cracked through and go on a great run this year. So that is my pick.
I will say this. I want Seattle to make the Super Bowl. But if my favorite team does not make it, if there's a team that I would love to see in the Super Bowl, it would be Detroit. If they could make it. If Seattle doesn't go, like let's say it's Detroit versus Philly or Detroit versus San Francisco or something like that, I would be rooting so hard for Detroit. That goddamn city needs something. They got fucking nothing right now.
Chrysler.
They got dirty water.
M&M.
Head coach that wants to eat kneecaps. I mean, you got to give them something, people. I mean, Detroit would be one of those stories where it would be hard to root against them.
Right.
Like, could you see like Jared Goff back in the Super Bowl? Good God,
Redemption.
man. That would be wild. Oh, that'd be wild.
Yeah, so that's what we got for Super Bowl predictions. I'm going I don't think we need to try and even name who the winner is going to be of the whole thing right now. But we'll just move right to MVP. Malin, who do you think is winning MVP this year?
Ooh, MVP, man. This one's a tough one because there's so many people that could have a shot at it.
Daniel Jones.
But you think of I'm not going Daniel Jones.
Favorite.
I think like you think of someone like Mahomes that's already won it, but then who are his wide receivers outside of Kelsey, and how long is Kelsey going to be out now? Sorry, Jalen, you picked him in the first round.
He'll be back tomorrow. He'll be back.
You got Joe Burrow. Is he starting week 1? Is he going to get re-hurt? How's that? Like, you got to play most of the games to win the MVP. Josh Allen, I still think there's some teeth to this thing going on with Stephon Diggs. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, could he do it at 40? I don't know. Like, the safe pick is Jalen Hurts, but I don't even really know that Jalen Hurts is going to do it either. Like, I've been just going over in my mind all day about this, and I think I'm going to land with Joe Burrow. I'm going to take the risk of him needing to stay healthy, but I think he's going to have a hell of a year. I think that offense is going to be humming. I think they're going to win a lot of games. I think they're going to be close to the first round. And so I'm going to go Joe Burrow to notch an MVP on this one.
All right. Nestor?
Um, I I'm a little worried on Joe Burrow's health, so I would have to go with Mahomes. Didn't Rodgers win it twice? A few years back.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's gonna pull Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna win it again. So that's my pick. I think he's clutch. I think he gets it done. And I know we didn't pick the Super Bowl, but I think they're gonna. That's my pick. They're gonna win the Super Bowl, and when they do that, he's gonna get another MVP.
Didn't you just pick the Chiefs to take the AFC?
Yeah.
So how did the Jets and Aaron Rodgers win the Super Bowl?
No, I'm not talking
Because the
about
Jets
that.
plane
I'm saying
crashed, and because they lost the AFC Championship game, they get to go.
I don't know.
I didn't pick the Jets.
I don't. It just didn't he just pick the Jets to go all the way and win it?
No, I thought you just said
No, G-Money did.
that Joe Burrow was gonna win MVP and that he's gonna be in the. Did you say he's gonna be in the Super Bowl?
Who said that?
I said that, but who is
Wait, who's your pick?
who's winning the MVP?
I love how I confused the fuck out of everybody.
Nestor, quit doing
What I said
freaking
was-
coke out of my calf's
What I
foot.
said was, he's gonna pull an Aaron Rodgers and he's gonna win the MVP again. He's gonna go back to back. That's it.
Oh,
Is
okay,
it-
Mahomes.
Okay, I
was
thought he
thinking
said
Joe
that
Burrow.
Aaron Rodgers was going to win the MVP.
No.
I was like, wait, what?
Look how we all got different players out of that.
Okay, so you have Mahomes winning the MVP.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Fair
I think you
enough.
confused everybody when you said, didn't Aaron Rodgers win it a couple times a couple years ago, and then you said he's going to do it again. But
No, I
you
think
were
Mahomes-
talking about Mahomes, not Aaron Rodgers.
Right, right.
You think
I picked
Mahomes
the
is going to
crackhead.
pull an Aaron Rodgers, is what you're
Yes.
saying. Okay.
It's not confusing at all.
Jesus.
Uh, G Money, who is winning MVP?
Tua.
Yeah.
He said Tua.
Funny thing, it's been a quarterback the last what, 5-6 years? Oh no,
Could
more
be
than
more
that.
than that.
That's 10 years.
Since 2012.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
it's
Peterson.
insane. I mean, Adrian Peterson was the last running back to win the MVP.
It's gonna be another 10 years too.
It'll be Christian McCaffrey. He stays healthy. It'll be Christian McCaffrey. He'll win the MVP.
Shit.
G Money's just all about the hot takes. I think
Yes.
he's just going out on a limb.
He's excited. He's like, football cannot get here fast enough.
That's right. Isn't it Thursday already? I want to watch the Kansas City Detroit game.
Right. Well, yeah, this time tomorrow.
Who
That's what we'll be
thought
doing.
we'd ever be saying that? We want to see Kansas City and Detroit.
Well, I mean, we haven't watched any pro football since February, so I don't care if it's freaking Carolina and Indianapolis. I just want to watch it.
I don't know if it was the Colts and Texans.
I'll just give out on that.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I can find something else to watch. I think the sprinklers turn on at that time, so I'll go out and watch that.
Just hose yourself off.
I'm taking Lamar Jackson to win MVP. I think he's going to be on a mission this year and just go bananas, similar to how he won his first MVP. Ravens will be very good. He will be the main reason for that. But I just think once they hit the postseason is when things will start to fall apart for them. But regular season wise, they'll probably be one of, if not the most impressive team as far as just like highlight reel, impressive plays individually. I think Lamar Jackson's gonna be on a mission. So give me Jackson for MVP this year. So we've got Mahomes, Lamar, C-Mac, and Joe Burrow, which is quite the.
Hey, you know who's not going to get an MVP vote?
Who's that?
Russell Wilson. go into year 11. It's gonna go into, that man ain't never gonna get an MVP vote. It's never gonna happen.
That's too bad because there's a couple years he deserved.
Oh, he did when he scored 97.8% of the touchdowns for Seattle one year. He definitely deserves some votes at least. But like a lot of people think that he's gonna get some MVP votes because Sean Payton's his quarterback. What did Drew Brees never win in his NFL career? An MVP, which I also think is kind of awesome. That man, I think that's wild too. That Drew Brees never even sniffed it.
If we could get a Denver fan on as a guest sometime this NFL season, I would love that. If you're a Bronco fan, hit us up. We'd love to have you on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll behave myself. I promise.
I mean,
we agree on a lot more than we disagree on when it comes to. And then at the end of the day, we could always talk about Super Bowl 48. So
Yep.
That'd be fun.
Let's move into the news for the week, shall we?
Today's top stories and breaking news.
For the news, we've got some college football to start off with. Their season just began last weekend. And of course, big talk of the town was that Colorado upset TCU on the road. Coach Prime going in there and getting it done and setting the sports media on fire for this past week. I mean, that's pretty much all you've been able to hear about. What do you guys think about Colorado's first win, the surprise win as like 30-some-odd point underdogs?
I'm not sure that the point spread was necessarily accurate. I think Vegas did a bad job on that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say bad job, like it's almost, I mean, hell, they replaced all but like 8 people on the roster, I believe. They only had one returning defensive starter. I know that for damn certain. So it's like, how does Vegas truly set a point spread against the team that's never played together, but a head coach that just came out of the HBCU and then out of Jackson State, and then TCU that yes, they made it to the championship game last year, but let's not forget the fact they lost their conference championship game. And then I believe it was Michigan that they beat in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hope I'm right because I don't like saying
you are.
But then they got the brakes beat off them by Georgia. And they lost some starters, a lot of them too. I don't think they were the 17th ranked team in the nation. In fact, they're the lowest ranked team that's been to the championship game since the beginning of the BCS era. And they've given up, I think, 110 points in their last 2 games between the championship game and this game.
Wow.
So what the fuck is the defense doing? But I'm still not believing all the hype with Colorado. I don't think that Colorado is going to be a player in the Pac-12. And when I say that, I don't think that they're going to contend for the Pac-12 championship. I think they could end up being a bowl team, which I don't think I necessarily thought that they would going into the season. But that offense does look legit. What's his name? Number 12. Is his last name Turner? That's his name? God damn it.
Yeah,
Is it Turner?
I believe so.
Okay. Is he going to be able to play 169 snaps every single game? I don't think so. You're going to kill the kid by week 4 if you do that. Now, he definitely is a baller. Sanders' kid, set a Colorado record for passing yards, over 500 yards passing. His first game ever playing for the Buffs set school record for passing yards. That's crazy. Sanders' other son led the team in tackles. They were impressive, but I don't think they beat as impressive of a team is what people thought that TCU was going to be. I think that when we get to the end of the year, I don't think TCU is going I don't think they're going to be ranked again for the rest of the year. They'll probably be bowl eligible, but I think TCU is going to drop 4 or 5 games. So how impressive is that win really going to be at the end of the year? But good for Sanders. He's keeping receipts. That's great. I think everybody else is going to keep receipts on him too.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. It'll be exciting. Now they play Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Let them beat Nebraska, and I think College Game Day is just going to camp out at Colorado until they lose at that point. It's just all they're going to fucking talk about.
They're not leaving.
So, I mean, Sanders with his 8 toes has been all over every goddamn media outlet doing all the interviews. So good for them. But I still don't think they're winning the Pac-12. 7-8 games, 8-4, bowl eligible, which will be huge because they were 1-11 last year.
Yeah.
So if he can get rid of the whole goddamn roster, replace the whole roster and win 7 or 8 games, that's a big deal, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. But they're not going undefeated. Let's stop.
Travis Hunter, that's the receiver you were. Talking about. Yeah, he's a stud.
11 catches over 100 yards and an interception.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Just unbelievable. Yeah. If he can, like you were saying,
169 snaps though. To do it. That's a lot of snaps.
Yeah. Right. If they don't run him into the ground, he's gonna be ridiculous.
Possibly keep that up?
Yeah. Just real quick, I think a lot of that was just. I'm not taking anything away from Colorado. I agree. I think they could very well be a bowl team, but TCU was just highly pumped up, inflated. The spread was just kind of wild. Yeah, I just don't think TCU is as good as they were made out to be. Nonetheless, though, what a great win for Colorado. They're going to be no matter what they do, they're going to be the talk of college football for the rest of the year. But don't let them mess around and beat Nebraska because, like you said, Malin, we will not hear the end of it. That's going to be wild.
Do you think that Nick Saban should get his last name embroidered on the side of his hat like Deion Sanders has Prime on all of his stuff?
I don't know if Saban could pull it off as well as Prime could, but
I know that Dabo can't do that after the ass kicking they just got from Duke last night. I don't know. I don't think
he can't.
He got his ass beat last night by Duke.
Yeah, they got to go back to the drawing board.
I mean, maybe Saban some trademark something like a 6-time national champ or something.
Yeah, do that 6 times. Put that on his hat.
I don't know.
G-Money, what'd you think?
Yeah, as Malin said, TCU was overrated. I could have seen the point spread being TCU by 10 or 15 because let's not forget Colorado won 1 game last year. TCU showed that they had no defense in the college playoffs. Yes, they beat Michigan. Michigan still put 45 points on them. And then, of course, Georgia said, hey, 45, hold my beer. Let's do 65. Because I can't drive.
150 points in 3 games.
Yeah.
What the fuck's the defense?
I don't. And let's not forget that when Coach Prime went to Jackson State, he turned them into a winner overnight. He grabbed that DB that was supposed to go to Florida State, took him to Jackson State, and then took him up to Colorado. And a lot of his players went from Jackson State to Colorado. So, it's almost like I'm going to take 7 or 8 of my starters, and I'm going to get guys from the portal. And quite frankly, this team sucked last year. Why do I want to keep really any of the players? And his next 2 games, Nebraska, who lost to Minnesota, not that good. Colorado State. So I can see him going 3-0. College game day being at USA when they play USC, and then they get their asses handed to them. And then everybody gets into the. Yeah.
You said Hunter's the name of that kid, right? Is that the one that was that he stole from FSU.
I thought
Is
that
that
was
it?
the kid that was supposed to go to Florida State because he was
Yeah,
like the number one D back
what was his name?
coming out of high school, and he went to Jackson State.
And then, so he's in Colorado too.
Yeah, he followed him to Colorado.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And let's not also forget the point that, you know, Colorado's defense left a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
Like, if Colorado's offense was trying to get momentum, the defense would fuck it up every single time.
Right.
And special teams. They'd be like, hey, let's score a touchdown. And then the special teams let TCU get to the 50-yard line like every goddamn time.
Yeah.
Exciting game.
Yes.
But come on, defense.
Yeah. Nestor, any thoughts?
I just want to underscore, like Malin said, Travis Hunter, his performance, and Dylan Edwards, man, like that play for 75 yards. That was crazy the way he ran into the pocket, and that was insane. So it was that, I think, was what made it such a fun game. The back and forth, Emily Bailey, and the way he was running through that line, just rushing the ball for TCU. That was crazy. So yeah, I think we gave TCU a bit too much credit here before this game started. But on the bright side, we got a hell of a game, and like I said, Dylan Edwards, he was just. I found his performance better than Travis Hunter. I was, man, the way he was. Isn't it his college debut?
What was Edwards number 3?
Freshman?
He was number 3, right? The true freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Right?
Freshman.
Yeah. Oh, just
Insane.
fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Real fast. Like, he ran past on that 75-yard touchdown, on that little screen pass. He ran past TCU like they had cinder blocks for cleats. When he was running, you just kept thinking a TCU defender had the angle on him. And he was like, nah, man, fuck you, Gian.
Right.
I'm just going to be passing it.
Went off.
I was like, goddamn.
Yeah. That was.
Colorado will put up points. They will put up points this year. You're not going to. And I do think that Sanders kid shot. God, I can't pronounce his first name.
I don't know his first name.
Adir?
Chandel Shad. I don't.
Shadir?
Whatever.
Something?
He is. I really do think he's a really good quarterback. You don't start at Division I football your very first game and throw for over 500 yards and 4 touchdowns, and be mediocre. That offense is going to be an issue. And so if they can put up 45 points against TCU, they could put up, 28, 35 points against the USC. Only problem is that Campbell's going to put up 66 to 70 against that Colorado defense. So that's kind of what it's going to be when they go up against better offenses and they play against better defenses. Not going to score 40 points. They're going to give up more than 40 points. So yeah.
I was a little wrong on that. I said the third week, actually the fourth week they play USC. They play Oregon at Oregon, then they play USC. So you have back-to-back games.
Yeah,
that
Oregon just score 88 points. They again, I know it's Portland State.
Well, it was 70-something on. Yeah, it was like 75 or 76.
Oh, no, it was 80. I think it was 88 points.
Was it?
Yeah, I think they scored 88 points against Portland State. And they almost damn near killed the mascot because they have a tradition at Oregon, which is crazy. I wouldn't want to be the fucking mascot for Oregon. They always score fucking points. For every time they score, the mascot has to do push-ups for whatever the point total is. So I think the mascot had to do like 386 push-ups on Saturday. I'd be like, fuck you, Bo. Bo Nix, you can kiss my ass.
Poor,
I mean,
poor guy. Poor gentleman
he
in
had
that
to be helped
suit.
off the field, man.
That's where you're tapping out. At some point, you just start tapping out, man.
If they keep that shit up,
Yeah.
goddamn Duck is going to be a Navy SEAL. He's going to be. Jesus Christ.
Damn. Yeah, that whoever that was not in class the next day for probably the whole week. He was out of class. He was excused.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Colorado they'll remain the talk of the town for the rest of this. I was at a funeral for while this game was on, and literally the hush hush was like, "What's the score of that Colorado game?"
Damn.
You need to look up one video though, Jalen, and it's the Oregon Duck mascot, because at the end of the game, Oregon was on the 20-yard line, and the Oregon Duck mascot was on his knees praying don't score because he didn't want to do over 90 more push-ups. He was like, please don't do it. We're up like 88-10 or something. We don't need any more points.
Oh man. All right, let's move on to some NFL news. So this just came out that Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee, and at first it was kind of looking like he may have actually messed up his ACL. But his ACL apparently is fine, but has some swelling in his knee. So kind of, even though it's 10:30 here on Wednesday, still don't know if he's going to be playing tomorrow. I'm assuming they're going to wait until tomorrow morning or afternoon or whatever. But not very good if you happen to be a Chiefs fan and or a Travis Kelce fantasy tight end owner. So we'll see what happens. I'm praying like that duck right now.
I mean, listen. I got Travis Kelce too. I picked him in the first round in my Shiver fantasy league.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it! I didn't even have another tight end on my roster. I had to go pick up Noah Fant or somebody that's going to get me like 5 points instead of like the 20 that Kelce got. But I'm more concerned about the residual effect. They said extensive swelling.
Right.
And if there's extensive swelling, even though there's no structural damage, there's some weak shit going on in that knee. If you've ever done anything to your knee, it's not going to be the same. He's going to have to wear a brace. He's a number one target. Defenders are going to start going low on him. They're going to start banging the shit out of that knee.
Like, stop.
Don't tell me this.
This could be one of those lingering things that could, even if it doesn't get re-aggravated, could be an issue and slow him down for 5 or 6 weeks. And that's if it's not even re-aggravated. So I know you're wincing right now, Jalen, because he was your number one pick. I apologize. I don't know who Mahomes is going to throw to either, because you really wanted that low. But it's not a good thing, even though there's no structural damage. There's still going to be some lingering things going on there. Kittle dealt with this a couple years ago, and he wasn't George Kittle the rest of the year. When he was dealing with a lingering knee issue, even though he could play on it. So it'll be interesting to see what Kelce can do for the next, maybe first half of the season.
Whoever goes next, can you say something happy, please?
I've seen athletes before deal with swelling. Well, not so much in the knee. But other parts of the legs and a few months and playing a few months and they eventually heals and they're better. So I think Kelsey's a tough guy. I think he'll be fine. That's honestly what I think will happen.
There we go.
But yeah, rest him week 1. He'll be fine. I think for week 2. That's what I think is gonna happen. He's a tough guy. We're not talking about a man made of glass. doesn't play for the Dolphins. If you've seen our injury report, there's like 20 guys on there, and it's not even week 1. So yeah, he'll be fine.
You know, my thought is he should sit out week 1. He really should. Come week 2, they'll inject some painkillers into his knee, and he'll play. Because I don't think that he's going to sit out for any length of time unless he plays tomorrow night and aggravates that injury. A smart coach would look at everything and say, you know, this is a key part of my offense. Do I want to put him out there and play him and risk an injury, or do I want to rest him, give him another 8-9 days of rest, and then play him next week? That's what I think should happen. I mean, if they play him and he really aggravates that knee and does some serious damage to it, now they're looking for another tight end. And now Mahomes has to figure out who he's throwing to when his wide receivers are covered.
I just went ahead and picked up Hunter Henry off of waiver wires. So just in case tomorrow morning.
I would just like to point out that I just Googled hyperextended knee, and the number one thing to heal a hyperextended knee, it says to avoid the activity that caused the injury, number one. So that would be hard. And they say that it can take up to 4 weeks to completely heal. And that's without even playing on it.
Mm-hmm.
So is he going to be practicing? Probably not. So it's like this, like someone said, like this is going to be a lingering thing for a few weeks for him. He's going to be in a brace. He's never been in a brace before. So it'll be interesting how he responds, and it'll be interesting how much attention he commands, because I think the wide receivers of the Kansas City offense, it depends on him getting the respect of the defense that he gets.
Yep.
Those wide receivers being open. And if they don't have faith that Kelsey can be Kelsey, then what does that do for the rest of the receiving core? And that makes it even more difficult for him. So, yeah, you're smart to pick up Henry.
Yeah, that was great medical advice. Avoid the thing that gave you the injury.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Avoid it, and then it talks about apply cold compress, and then wear a compression sleeve or a brace, and that is from the Cleveland Medical Clinic. Is what I just read.
There's the problem.
So if Kelsey can just avoid the activity that caused the injury, then he should be good in 4 weeks. And not to mention, when it talks about the medical definition of a hyperextended knee, it's the type of injury that happens when the knee bends too far backwards. So even though he didn't tear it, there was still some bending in a way that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That sounds painful.
Yeah. But at the same time, if he has to miss the month, please do not make this a serious thing. I love that this thing has practically made me a Chiefs fan, but listen, it is what it is. 2023.
But you made yourself a Chiefs fan when you picked up
I did that to my own damn
Yeah.
self.
you did this to you.
I made half of our apartment building Kansas City fans. Let's move on to Nick Bosa. We talked about him last week, and the fact that he was kind of in some contract negotiation here, and he got a 5-year, $170 million deal. Not too sure how much of that is guaranteed, but
122.
122. Okay. Nicky Bosa heading out with 122 in the bank.
34 million a year.
Whew. Good for him. Payday. Let me get a little golf clap for Nick Bosa getting the well-deserved payday. San Francisco said, you know what? Let's not fuck around. Let's give our best player extension. So, what do you guys think? Nick Bosa getting the bag?
I like it. I think it bodes well for the Seahawks because they give Nick Bosa that money. Fred Warner's going to want money next year. I don't know what Debo Samuel's sitting with his contract, but yeah, I like it. And let's not forget that Chris Jones of the Chiefs is now sitting there going, yeah, that's my starting point. So, you know.
Yes, that's
Oh yeah,
true.
the Chiefs are pissed right now.
Right.
Chiefs are so damn angry. Because they don't. Because okay, the Niners can give $34 million a year to Bosa. Why? Because Brock Purdy is their starting quarterback right now. So, what happens if Brock Purdy doesn't pan out? Because all the 49er fans they're giddy. They're like, "Oh, we got our guy, and we think Purdy's going to lead us to the promised land." You can only pay a defensive end $34 million a year if you don't have to pay a quarterback anything.
Right.
Well, if Brock Purdy doesn't pan out, and you got to sign a quarterback in free agency, which Kyle Shanahan is in love with Kirk Cousins. In fact, anybody that's from the Shanahan coaching tree, they are slobbing knobs over Kirk Cousins. They all love him. Every single one of them. They can't get enough of Kirk Cousins. Because in their mind, they don't need the best quarterback. They just need the right quarterback to run their system. So if they get themselves in a situation where they got to start paying free agency money for a quarterback, say goodbye to all that depth. Ayuk, gone.
Yeah.
Fred Warner, how are you going to pay him when you're already paying Bosa? Debo Samuel, you're probably going to have to restructure his contract after next year. So the 49ers have put themselves in a position to where they got this year and next year. 2024, they'll still be okay with the cap. After 2024, they're going to be in some cap hell if Brock Purdy does not pan out and they got to pay money for another quarterback. They are in the situation where they are dangerously close to wasting another potential all-time defense and not winning a Super Bowl. They did it in early 2010 when Jim Harbaugh was the head coach, and they had Colin Kaepernick and Alex Smith as their quarterbacks. And they wasted that defense. That was a great defense that they had. $34 million. I just don't think the NFL salary cap is ready for that yet. I know the NFL salary cap keeps going up, but the NFL salary cap is not ready for $34 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
And there are GMs across the NFL that are pissed because they're not going to be able to. Well, what do you think the Steelers are thinking right now with Watt?
Exactly.
You think they're happy about the fact that Bosa's getting $34 million a year?
Right.
No, they're fucking pissed. So do I think Bosa deserves it? Yes. He's the reigning NFC Defense Player of the Year. Is he also a little bit injury prone? Yes. I think that's a hell of a gamble. And I don't think the 49ers win the Super Bowl. I think their cap is going to end up being their downfall. They're not going to be able to keep this team together long term. They're going to fall into the same salary cap hell the NFL teams fall into when they win a Super Bowl, but they're not going to win it because of moves like this. So,
yeah, Nick Bosa was the happiest person on earth from this, but the second happiest had to be T.J. Watt. What do you guys think about G-Money or Nestor? What do you guys think about Bosa's new deal?
Like I said, I like it.
yes, yeah,
I did. Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have to think about. You have to think about. I know Brandon Ayuk was happy because he gets to soon. He's a young guy over there, so he's thinking, man, if I perform good, I'm getting some good. I'm gonna extension too soon. I'm gonna get more money.
But where does the money come from now?
Right.
That's what they have to think because they're gonna have to reallocate their resources in a couple of years. So that's they're gonna be at their limit.
you're already paying Christian McCaffrey all the money that Carolina
Right.
paid him to.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a shit ton of money tied up in a running back and the defensive end. And Debo Samuel has a big contract. It's not the biggest, but it's a big wide receiver contract. Fred Warner's got a deal too.
Ayuk is just thinking, well, you got all this money, I'm next. So, the money doesn't end.
Yeah.
And he's got the talent. I mean, if anybody's up next, it's him.
This is not baseball, and they're not the Yankees or the Mets or the Dodgers. There's a cap.
Or even the Padres.
Yeah, there's only so much that you can pay people.
You're going to be like, hey, we're
if I'm Brandon Ayuk, I'm actually probably a little bit pissed. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to make a bag, but I'm going to have to fucking move.
He seemed positive.
Oh, yeah.
He seems
man, that's the next bit of drama is Ayuk's
his agent's
drama.
pissed right now.
Right, his agent's gonna be overtime.
And I know Justin Jefferson is supposedly what year is he on in his contract? You'll probably ask for more money soon, so that means a lot for him too.
Justin Jefferson gets a contract after next year, I think.
Yeah, he's coming up
yeah,
soon.
yeah.
So he's gonna reset that.
They don't necessarily have to give him an extension. They could just pick up his 5th-year option and go from there. But chances are they're going to be looking for a quarterback.
Yeah, but he'll hold out. If they just do the 5th-year option, he'll hold out. That's what all great first rounders do. Like, okay, go ahead, pick up the 5th-year option, but I'm gonna hold out till I get a contract. I mean, that's what Bosa just did.
Right. I mean, it makes sense.
He's like, "Fuck you on this 50-year rookie deal. Pay me my goddamn bag. Give me this fucking money." He's about to sign The Rock from the Baller Show with HBO. Give me some fucking money, people. Shit.
Well,
let's come to Miami.
No one's going to Miami. Money aside, Jack Jones got his gun charges dropped. Thank God. Oh man, God is good. If the gun doesn't fit, you must acquit. That's what they say. Jack Jones should be out of the legal system jail, but hopefully he's out of Bill Belichick's jail as well, because one of our best defensive players, we're going to need him this year. We are going to need him.
Just because you have charges dropped doesn't mean the NFL can't come down with some sort of suspension. They are their own entity, and they love to suspend people
way after
legal
the
shit
fact.
dropped. Yes. Goodell's like, you know what? I need some more press. And you know what is also going to hurt him, Jalen? You think NFL owners are not calling the NFL office right now and put the hammer down on the Patriots?
Right. Yep.
Put them down. He's going to miss some time. Not as much, but it's probably going to be a few games, and it might not even be this year. It'll probably be next year.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping that Goodell, he does his usual thing and it waits like a whole calendar year, and then he, next year he misses a couple of games, whatever. But hopefully this year.
Refresh me on the gun charge. Like, there's no video, right? He's not like John Morant being dumb as shit, is he? Like, what?
Right.
What
it was
his,
like he was
videos, right?
It was like going through an airport.
You up with the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was trying to go through an airport. Yeah, and it was in his bag or something.
He
like
might
that.
get a game or two.
He had like a box with like two guns and an ammo,
right?
And they were like, "Well, we couldn't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt." Like, what?
Right. So they sent him home.
He tried to go through an airport with a gun and a box of ammo.
Yeah, it was multiple guns.
Yeah. And what's now? These should be federal charges, not state charges. So how the heck do you get them dropped where you can't prove that they're? I mean, I don't care if they're your gun, if they're your guns or not. You're taking them through security. I mean, that's I don't know.
So we can already diagnose this guy with CTE, because that's the only way you do dumb shit like this, right? Is if your noggin is a little bit garbled.
The point is,
I didn't know it worked like that, though. I didn't know it worked that they couldn't prove beyond the reasonable doubt that he knew that.
Right, it was that he knew
in his
that
possession.
He had it. Yeah.
So
I mean, well, hold on a second, because I did something stupid back in 2019.
Did you go through an airport with multiple guns and ammo in your bag?
Not multiple guns, but I did try to go through an airport with a loaded magazine. Not a gun, but a
Just
loaded
the
magazine.
Okay. Yeah.
So in 2019, I was flying to Chicago, and I picked a backpack, put some stuff in it. I forgot that it was one of my concealed weapons backpacks that has like a secret compartment in it, right? Of course, I had taken the handgun out at some point, but I left a loaded 9mm magazine in there. And I remember it got flagged, and I'm sitting over there with the TSA people, and there's two people, and they're going around the backpack, and they're trying to figure out, okay, where the fuck is this magazine? Because I couldn't find the secret compartment. So first of all, Cobra Tactical, if you want a good backpack to conceal the weapon, go ahead and get that, because TSA couldn't find it for like 5 fucking minutes. But while TSA is looking through it, I'm standing there, right? And I don't know the magazine's in there. I don't know why they have my backpack. I was like, do I have something over 2 ounces or something that's going to get me in trouble? Right. Meanwhile, there's like 4 cops and like 15 other blue TSA people swarming up behind me. They asked me if there was a compartment I found at the magazine. They're like, is this yours? And I was like, yes. You know you can't fly with this. I was like, keep it. I don't give a shit. They're like, you want to mail it back to yourself? No, it's yours. I don't give a fuck. Throw it away. I don't give a shit. I don't want any more association with this magazine. I just want to go to Chicago. Like, I was so goddamn scared. So that was just with a loaded magazine. This motherfucker brought multiple guns, like a box of ammo. Bitch, you should have been in cuffs. And you damn well have CTE. Everybody knows you can't take a fucking guns on a plane. I say guns because you said multiple fucking guns you're trying to bring on a goddamn airplane.
But it might have packed itself.
Ammo.
It might have packed itself into his luggage.
Maybe his lady packed his bag.
How does that get dropped?
He's got to do not community, like some volunteer hours in something, I don't know, in like probation to some degree. Anyway,
listen, he's got to be picking up trash somewhere for being a fucking idiot trying to bring multiple guns and a box of ammo.
His volunteer hours, if you want to call it that, he's educating kids on gun safety, I guess you would say.
Okay,
he also has to be the mascot for Oregon.
He shouldn't be educating anyone on gun safety because he doesn't understand gun safety. He's trying to bring fucking guns on planes.
He should be taking the class on gun safety and not taking guns through security. Not teaching it. He should be
sitting down at a desk with a pen and paper taking fucking notes. What the fuck? How does he get to sit up and stand in front of the class?
Well, talk about gun now he knows. Now,
you need to learn gun safety.
It's him.
What the fuck? You think these goddamn people would learn from Gilbert Arenas? You think they would?
No.
But they
don't.
No. Dumbasses. All of them. Jesus Christ.
Well, as long as he's suited up come Sunday, that's all that matters to me. So let's go ahead and go on to halftime.
Jalen's the same guy that if Ray Rice was his running back, he'd be like, that punch wasn't that bad.
It gets thrown out of context when you just see like a 5-second video clip.
He's like, was she really unconscious? He was just helping her out of the elevator. He was being
proved beyond a reasonable doubt. Let's go to halftime. When we come back, we are going to look at our big board full of our predictions that we've been doing for the last 14 years, it feels like. And then we're going to close it out with, the Ride or Die in 5 is back. So stay tuned, folks.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a few.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah. Hey. On my way to the boat like I ain't just have on the coat when I landed. Outbranded, perched at the edge of the branches. They don't wanna talk mansions, mine look like a campus. And I'm all about my brothers like the niggas I'm sampling. I'll leave you red shirted like the twins from Kansas. Really living my dreams I used to have in my aunt's crib.
This is the first time the Heat have made the finals since LeBron left.
Jesus Christ.
What
the fuck?
Nobody wants to guess.
Is it Kyle Lowry?
If Kyle Lowry's number
Do I get the point?
Yeah, I'll give you the point.
I guess two of them. Do I not get points for that shit too? Can I just make a complaint?
How many times have these two teams played each other in the regular season?
Once.
Is incorrect.
No.
Three.
Twice.
You already guessed.
Shaq, what was your guess? 3. That is incorrect.
Twice.
2.
G Money, any guesses?
I already said it.
We don't know if that's correct.
Well, I mean,
It is correct.
G Money, try 5.
Why this man had the most amount of points to complain about?
How is it
Good butler.
taking that fucking long?
You missed their first question because you answered too fast. Not thinking.
He's stupid.
that's pretty
First of
hurtful.
all, this is the last time we're ever doing trivia. I don't give a damn what happens.
Hey, yeah. Trendsetter, band frame getter. With whatever. I buy diamonds when I'm under pressure. When I apply, shit don't ever let up. Yeah. Look, I'm in the cut, the boy in the cut. Jump in the whip with a ceiling go up, we up. All of this grinding for what? It's funny when you niggas thought it was luck.
So who is that? All right, is Lance Spider Mitchell? You gotta put on the top. Got somebody good. Ooh, Steph Curry. Okay. Ooh, that feels bad. There's Darren Fox. Thank you.
Damn. Is that gonna fall the moment he gets it out?
Oh my god. How am I supposed to even turn this now?
By the way, the person who knocks it over, your lineup doesn't even count.
He took Zion. Listen, that's the best I can do, dude.
NBA. Jared Allen, you're coming home with me, friend.
Mr. IG Live himself.
Oh, the shooter.
Oh, Jesus.
That was harder than the Bulls fought to get Zach LaVine.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
If Miami can maintain their momentum and find a way to beat the Bucks in this series, you will be seeing us in the final. There's no question, ifs, ands, or buts about it, so be prepared to see us.
And the Miami Heat become the 6th in NBA history to win as an 8th seed in the first round.
Game wants his ring, and he's gonna get it. And he's like, "Fuck him." He's gotta play lights out. He's gonna come out there and play lights out. Butler's gonna put the whole load on his shoulders, and I say he wins game 1. Great momentum. That's how you start a series.
All 3 of the previous series, they were the underdog. All 3 of those series, they won game 1. Denver's 9-0 at home in the playoffs. They take game 1. Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets win their 4th straight road game in these playoffs and regain home court advantage. Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Denver Nuggets are 1 win away from their first ever NBA title. Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Murray falling away. Rebound, Brown banks it home. Bruce Brown puts the Nuggets back up by 1. Jimmy Butler on the drive, gets inside, stops. Stolen by Caldwell Pope. And a foul. 2 clutch free throws from Contavious Caldwell Pope. It's over. At last, the long wait is over. After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets can finally call themselves NBA champions.
Yeah. Still
me out, kicking with my new bitch, I still. Yep, in my white tee. Yeah, call a pipe, Williams for the hype, please. They gon' wipe you before you wipe me. My boxes of checks, not my Nikes. Cactus, not no iced tea. Got them bamboozled like a Spike Lee. You need more than Google just to find me. I just call a beta, get a high fee.
Incredible, general.
I just got the label just to sign me. Me and Chase connected like we signed me.
What are your expectations for your own team this NFL season? As a New England Patriots fan, my expectations are just to simply make the damn playoffs and look formidable. We've only made the playoffs once since Tom Brady left us in these past few years, and when we got there, we got absolutely annihilated. So my expectation is like, hey, let's just get back to the playoffs and just put up a solid fight. I'm not expecting us to win a playoff game, and that would be great. But as long as we just, put up a good fight, have a good game, that's my expectation this year for my New England Patriots. But let us know down in the comments below. Name your team and then give us your expectation. Is it just to make the playoffs? Is it to get one playoff win, two playoff wins, make it to the Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl if you're a Chiefs fan? Maybe it's a lot simpler just to have a above 500 record, depending on your team. Everybody has different expectations, so let's hear what yours is. Let us know down in the comments below.
So which team is going to be the dark horse in the AFC? I think it's going to be Baltimore. I feel with Lamar Jackson healthy, OBJ, rookie Zay Flowers, and Todd Monken, I think they're going to get that defensive passing game going. But who do you guys think is going to be the dark horse in the AFC?
Will the Chiefs make their 6th consecutive AFC championship? I don't see how they can't do it. I think they're still the most complete team in the AFC. Maybe not necessarily the most talented, but I think that they have the best quarterback. I think they have the best tight end, and I think they definitely have the best coach. And the only team that I think that has been able to really challenge them has been the Bengals. So if it's Bengals and everybody else, I got to think that the Chiefs are going to be one of the final 2 teams in the AFC again. I guess the bigger question is, are they going to host their 6th consecutive AFC championship at home? They might as well just rename the AFC championship game the Lamar Hunt game, for God's sakes. Anyways, what do you guys think? Chiefs going to make it 6 in a row? Let us know in the comments.
Who do you guys think is going to be winning the AFC West in 2023? I cannot see a situation where the Chiefs do not win this division again. You've got Sean Payton taking over the Broncos. They should be much better than they were last year. Still not better than the Chiefs. The Raiders, big question mark. I don't care what they do. They're still not going to be better than the Chiefs. The Chargers, yeah, they should have a better offense now with Kellen Moore there, but Brandon Staley's still their head coach, so God only knows. Yeah, I still think it's the Chiefs' division to lose. So who do you guys think is winning the AFC West in 2023? If you say anybody but the Chiefs, you're probably incorrect.
Remember to follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at AFR Sports. That's it, AFR Sports. Now back to the show with your hosts Jalen, Shaquille, and Malin.
Well, that was a good first half, gentlemen.
Yes, it was, and welcome back to the second half. Shout out to anyone watching right now, which I know includes Morgan Brown, who just said that we had a great first half. Just want to throw that out there.
We love us and Morgan, even though we kind of hopped out on the fantasy league. But that's cool.
Well, let's take that second half shot. Thank you there for raising it on high.
Oh.
What is that can? Is that
Yeah, G Money, what beer are you drinking?
This is a Merkenraven IPA from Woodinville. They send the kegs up to Stadium Thriftway, and they pump them straight from the keg for you. This is probably like 38 ounces.
God damn.
At 8%.
I mean, I saw you filling up that Pilsner glass a couple times.
This is the third. That was This is the third time. I've just not finished it.
Big that can was. I was like, he keeps pouring into that fucking glass with the same goddamn can. Jesus Christ! I mean, I'm taking shots of the Elijah Craig small batch, but
nice.
My Yeti, I got the Four Roses single barrel going on.
I love how you're sipping two different.
I don't have to drive.
It's too funny.
I don't have to pass 14 Hillsborough sheriffs on the way back from the studio tonight.
Usually Nestor would have to go by a couple of Mandy County sheriffs, but tonight he's back here in Hillsborough. So
Nestor has that British beer company shit going on there.
Yeah, you got any of that there, Nestor?
Sarasota.
No, unfortunately, they don't sell it as much here for some reason.
That don't sell.
Yeah, well, maybe because
they sell it there for
OnlyFans.
Yeah, I gotta.
They sell it in Sarasota, but we can't find it in Tampa.
I gotta up my membership to find that one.
Why Nestor doesn't have a closet door? I'm just looking into his closet right now.
Open concept.
Seem to have a door on his closet.
It's inside. It pulls out.
Okay, well that's how. I mean, you should practice that because you're married now. Pull out game.
When you're inside,
I know when I said that, I was gonna go somewhere like that instantly.
Nestor married into a couple kids.
Kind of walked into that.
If you don't want four, you want to do as your closet does, my friend.
That's right. Yeah.
Your closet.
6 months from now, you don't want to hear, "Hey, honey, we're having a little one." You're like, crap.
Yeah,
Nestor
wait 6
actually
months.
wants
That's
that.
just
Nestor wants
just
kids.
cruel.
Want to know why Nestor wants kids? Because he doesn't have kids. That's why Nestor wants kids.
Well, he has kids. just not
Technicalities.
legally.
Everybody says kids are fun when they're small, right? I mean, that's because there's not a whole lot you have to do. You change them, you feed them. That's it. It's like a chia pet. I mean, not a lot goes into that. It's when they get older and they start talking.
I was gonna say the most fucked up shit, but
Jalen puts his kid to bed in a fucking tube, so they don't even have to see him when he goes to bed.
It's full of
my
holes.
oldest, which is 11 years old now, woke up 2 nights ago and threw up in the bathroom. Did he make it in the toilet? No. Did he clean it up? No. What did he do? He just took a fucking towel and put it over the throw up.
There you go.
On the floor. So the next day, I had to peel a towel off the floor and scrub the shit out of it. Yeah. So Nestor, go ahead. Don't master the pullout game and see what happens.
yeah, kids can be a mess, kind of like our NFL 2023-2024 predictions.
Oh, Lord have
Don't
mercy.
call what I did a mess. You can call what you predicted a mess.
Listen,
don't call what I
for that segue, Fox, ESPN, NBC, you can't have Nestor. He's with AFR. Just go ahead and just stop emailing him right now. You cannot have him.
Skip Bayless. You only got 58,000 people watching the show. You can't have Nestor. He's ours. You can't save your show.
Oh,
Steve
God.
A. Smith, he's not interested in looking at your goddamn hairline. He doesn't want it. Now,
lack thereon.
we might lose. We might lose Nestor to the show Speak. If he
Right,
got to
for
look at
different
Joy
reasons.
Taylor every day,
Right.
we might lose him. We might get him.
All I need is to hold the microphone close to her. That's all I need.
That's not
Bare
already
minimum.
holding close to. All right, let me put this big board on the screen here. This is a collection of all of our record predictions from the last, from a few months that we've been predicting each division as where these teams are going to fall by the end of the year.
I
So
want to see this.
yes, I put it in the Discord so you guys can see, with the viewers here.
Glad you took track of that because the site, I lost all my record predictions. So
Well, that's
Can I see it though?
in the general chat, it should be one of the last things in there, if not the very last.
Oh, okay. Looking at it right now here.
There you go.
Sort of. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So we do this. We've been doing this for a couple of years now, but I'd like to just, when we pick them week by week, it can be kind of easy to look at things in a vacuum. But now that we get to see everything on a whole, it kind of puts things into perspective, especially when we all see each other's picks side by side. So we'll do this now, and then we'll do it again once the regular season is over, just to compare this to reality.
Oh, that's always life.
Right.
Man, I'm seeing how much you don't like the Cowboys, Jalen.
Yeah, that does stand out a bit. We're also seeing how much you do like the Giants.
Me? Yeah, I'm the only one that hasn't won a winning record. Now listen, I don't have Daniel Jones winning an MVP.
Right, not at 9.
Let's calm down. And anybody that wants to pay for fantasy help, remember that he wants Daniel Jones win the MVP. Okay, so the thing that I will say is interesting about this list is the amount of teams that we all agree on are going to have losing records.
Yeah.
Is the Rams, the Cardinals, the Bears, the Packers, the Saints, the Bucks, the Texans, the Colts. Jalen, you seem to be really big on the Commanders there.
Yeah, I am the only person with them clearly going over
Washington
500.
Yeah, by 5 wins.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're
You're
going to be
bullish
all right.
on Howell. Is that his name?
Yeah, Sam Howell.
Howell?
Yeah.
Quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sam Howell, yeah.
I
Okay.
think they'll give the Eagles a run for their money. That's just me.
Nestor doesn't like Russell Wilson. That's cool.
Yeah.
We're all pretty big on Detroit, though.
Yes, we
Yes,
are.
we are.
Nestor also likes the Falcons. Interesting.
Where are we at there? Yes. Yes, he does.
Yeah, but I mean, except for Jalen, we were all pretty close. Yeah, 9-8, 8-9, 7-10. I mean, those are those kind of games that maybe it goes one way and they win, maybe it goes the other way and they lose. I mean, Jalen was pretty much going, they ain't winning shit.
Sorry, just don't. I don't.
I mean,
see
we
it
do
there.
have 11. We did pick 11 teams. All have winning records. All of us.
Yes.
Like that's.
Yeah.
And out of that, though, okay. So if you look at the 11 teams, guys, I want to ask you guys this question while we're looking at it. Okay, so we got the Niners, the Seahawks, Detroit. We have the Eagles. We have the Bills, Miami. We have the Jaguars. We have the Bengals and Ravens, the Chiefs and the Chargers. So out of those teams, which one of those teams do you think could possibly end up with a losing record? Like, we all picked them to have a winning record. Do we? I mean, when I look at that, I'm sorry, Nestor, but I gotta think that if there's a team that could end up with a losing record, it's got to be the Dolphins.
I honestly, if there's a fraud in there, I kind of think it might be LA. I think the Chargers, are they going to be really good or
Chargers?
really bad?
Okay, I mean, you picked him to win 11 games.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think they still will, but
You don't think the Dolphins could be a fraud?
I still think they'll be right around
I mean,
500.
the
either
Dolphins
way.
could get a losing record. If Tua goes down, in all seriousness, that would have a major effect.
Who is their backup quarterback?
Great.
Oh, is it the Great White Hype?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yes!
Is it Mike White?
And then
Is that his
Skyler, I
name?
think.
White. They got the Great White Hype.
Mike White.
I feel like if he goes down, we could still have a 9-8. And with Tua going down 8-9 would even be bad considering
all things
what that would imply.
I mean, it would depend on when he went down and how bad the injury was. If he gets another concussion, and
he went to manifesting this shit.
I mean,
every week.
I mean, if he goes down with an ankle or something, he could be out a couple of weeks. A concussion, he could be out for the rest of the season because that would be what his. Technically, it should be his fourth concussion in 2 years. I mean, they may say 3, but I think we all believe that when he went down that one time, that was a concussion as well. At some point,
Miami fans would be happy as hell
the
if it was an ankle.
Ravens? Don't we think the Ravens are under the same amount of injury bug threat to the quarterback the Dolphins are? I mean, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, because they like to run Lamar a lot more than they should.
Huntley is the backup quarterback for the Ravens.
Yeah, and he didn't do well last year.
Pro Bowler.
And Lamar Jackson's been hurt the last 2 years, has he not?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're writing all of our picks on him being healthy. I mean, he's just as likely getting hurt as Tua. It's not going to cost him his NFL career. If Tua gets another concussion, I mean, he's going to be on a steady diet of Jell-O for the rest of his life. But
I mean, the truth is, when you look at
anything,
I mean, when you look at these, if Pat Mahomes goes down, then yeah, you have no clue who the backup quarterback is. The same if Herbert goes down, and we already know that with the Bengals, I mean, you know, you kind of look at it and you go, yeah, if the quarterback goes, the only one I feel comfortable with, well, actually the two teams I feel comfortable with, if the quarterback goes down and the backup can actually step in and play, would be the Seahawks.
Seattle with Drew Lock.
And the 49ers for a short period of time. I think that they will do okay. Now, the problem is if the 49ers are like last year when both their quarterbacks went down and they had to go with Brock Purdy. I mean, they did well until he got injured. I mean, it's funny when there was a time when you had a quality backup quarterback, right? You had a quarterback that you felt if your starting quarterback went down, your backup could step in and play, maybe not at the same level, but could play and at least keep you in the hunt for a playoff position or, you know, even further perhaps. Now with the way the money's being spent, you look at some of these teams' backups and you go like, yeah, don't know. I don't even know who they are. Who they play for, you know?
While
you can
I'm looking at this, I'm seeing one team outside of the Dolphins. Okay, because with the Dolphins we got 11-6, 9-8, 9-8, 9-8, right? So they easily could lose a couple games if Tua goes down and have a losing record, right? One team that can make everybody look fucking stupid is the Detroit Lions. And I'm not just saying us. I'm talking like the national media.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of this hype with the Lions is off of the second half of last year.
Yeah.
How many teams have had a great second half
right.
of a year and then are nothing like that coming back. And we're looking at 11 wins, 10, 10, 10. I mean, 2 to 3 games, and that we're losing record.
Yeah.
I mean, I want them to win,
Right.
but I think that the Lions actually have the highest percentage of being fool's gold because we're basing everything off of half a year
Right.
of them playing well. And Jared Goff was healthy the whole year. With the Dolphins, it's all about Tua being healthy. But man, that Lions team, if they don't live up to the hype, man, that's gonna make a lot of people look fucking stupid.
I'm gonna enjoy the NFC South much more than last year. I'll tell you that because I'm gonna enjoy
Lot
Tampa
of
Bay
red.
getting ran through every match. The storyline with Derek Carr coming in for the Saints, Panthers new QB, and then the Falcons. Please utilize Kyle Pitts and do something with him, please.
Yeah, because let's not forget about the fact that there was a certain somebody that shit on Kyle Pitts for the last 2 years and then still drafted.
That was so mean of Shaq, but yeah, I agree with you. I think he's gonna.
The NFC South.
Yeah,
looks
that
like a-
NFC South, man. I mean, we're putting a lot of faith in Bryce Young.
by default. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, there's Miles
Well,
Sanders.
yeah,
underneath
because
there.
the division's just fucking terrible.
We need to call
It
NFC
is. I
South
mean-
It
the
surprised me if you have a losing record out of that division.
the NFC South
I mean,
is,
the Bucks
is
won it with 8-9 last year, didn't they?
yeah,
Weren't the
yeah.
Bucks
They were.
8-9 last year?
I'm pretty sure they're under 500 and still
They're
won
not
the
any better.
division.
The division's not any better. Oh, that's such a bad goddamn
The
division.
NFC South is a Playboy Cardi album, whole lot of red.
Oh shit! Look at that. Oh, Jalen, just coming in with that.
Yeah, Jesus help. So on that same
Only Nestor
topic,
likes
though,
the Raiders. I would like to point that out.
yeah. On that same topic, are there any of these bad teams that you think that there's a good possibility we called them wrong?
I think, in my opinion, I think there's only one.
I think you guys are wrong on Cleveland.
And no, we're not. I think
We'll see.
now here's my caveat with this. We all picked the Chicago Bears to have a losing record.
Yes.
If Justin Fields takes the step that none of us thinks that he's going to,
I hope he does.
does, then I think the Bears could be that team that could end up with a winning record. If Justin
Preach.
Fields takes a step, I'm not sure that he will. But I think it's the only team that we all pick negative on that I'm looking at that has the potential, maybe, to do it.
Nestor's emotional side is speaking right now, but his logical side
Yeah.
spoke several
Why?
weeks
Because
ago with that
does
original.
he have Justin Fields? Like, what does
Right.
he have on his
Yeah.
team?
Yeah.
Does he have Justin Fields?
Yeah.
God, you are terrible at drafting fans.
I had to get a running back, so
Just like you want to.
Yeah, get running back.
what I'm gonna do.
I think
I mean, and also, Green Bay, we don't know what Jordan Love's going to do.
Green Bay's a huge question mark. I'm looking at Pittsburgh
all right.
though, and it pains me to say it, but if there is a team that I think most of us picked going under 500 that will good chance of still finishing 500 or above, Pittsburgh is historically the team to do that. But
Oh, I don't see it. No, I guess I could. I don't. I just don't trust the running back position. I don't trust Najee Harris.
Najee
I think
burned
he's
you.
average.
Yeah.
He's average. He is marginally better than Trent Richardson.
No, he's a lot better than Trent Richardson.
No, he's not.
Because
No.
Trent Richardson went to 2 teams and couldn't perform for either one. I mean,
Well, no, he
Najee's
ran
probably-
1,000 yards with the Colts. He did. I had him on my
Did
fantasy.
he?
He did. He got traded after his first year, but he did run for 1,000 yards. I just don't think that Najee Harris. I just think he's average. I don't think he's that bell cow back. I don't. He also has health questions, but he's slow to hit the hole. He dances too much behind the line of scrimmage, and he's too much of a heavier power back to be doing that dancing shit. He's average at best. They over for someone to be drafted in the first round like he was, to be
He's Alabama, right?
yeah, he's Alabama back. And what Alabama does is, and that's why I liken him to Trenton Richardson, is that I don't think he's ever going to live up to the hype completely. Will he be a little bit better than Trenton Richardson? Yes. But I mean, I think that what's his name that got drafted to the Saints? Shit. Number 22. God damn it.
Not Kamara.
No, not Kamara. He played with the Ravens. He was the one that was talking all that shit about people betting against Lamar Jackson. God damn it! What the fuck is his name? God, mother. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Right here.
He's the most productive Alabama back that's been in the NFL, even though they've had, well, no, Derrick Henry is another one. What is his name? So I mean, you got Derrick Henry and hell is his name?
The funny thing is, I had Najee his rookie year in fantasy, and he did great for me. But last year, not so much. This is only his third year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's had one very good year, and one disappointing year. So I guess we'll find out this third year. But yeah.
Why can I not? Oh, Mark Ingram is the guy I was thinking of.
Oh, Ingram.
Mark Ingram and Derrick Henry are the two most productive Alabama running backs. Now, keep in mind, they also had people like Najee Harris, Glenn Coffey, T.J. Yeldon, Trent Richardson, the Trey Sanders in 2019, Bo Scarborough that didn't do anything with Dallas. Alabama has a history of running their running backs into the ground.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't know. I just don't think Najee Harris is ever going to pan out to be the guy that Pittsburgh thought he was. He's never going to be the bus. He's not going to be that great Pittsburgh running back. He's not going to be Franco Harris. He's not going to be any of those guys. So Willie Parker is going to end up being a better Steelers running back than Najee Harris. And that might be because Shaq bought his jersey. Because Shaq buys jerseys and fucks up careers. Because look at Juju right now. He's a Patriot, for God's sakes. So yeah. God, that is just...
That's where
you know, G-Money, we don't have your AFC South picks in here.
Yeah, those are the ones that we're missing. But I mean, I don't think anybody's losing their sleep over anything.
I mean, I don't think it would be a whole lot different than what we're looking at right there.
Right.
Jacksonville, Tennessee. You could flip between Texas and Indianapolis. I mean, I think I would probably have Jacksonville going probably 10-7. Tennessee, it's kind of strange, right? Because you look at Henry at running back if he stays healthy. You look at the quarterback position. I mean, damn, they could go. They themselves could go 10-7 or 11-5, or adversely, your quarterback goes down, and you're either having Malik or Levi as your starting quarterback. And Malik didn't do well last year, and I doubt if Levi's going to do any better than Malik did last year. It's interesting how you watch a few teams, and they take quarterbacks between the first and the fourth round last year, and they're taking quarterbacks in the first round this year. It's like, yeah, why did you even bother taking a quarterback last year? Take someone who's going to help you, because Malik didn't help them any. They would have been better off taking another running back, taking a D lineman, taking an O lineman, than taking a quarterback. And the same can be said for Atlanta, for Indianapolis. Teams that took quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds that turned out to be not good. I mean, I never understood why you would reach for a quarterback, whether you needed one or not. And in these cases, they needed a quarterback, but you look at someone and you go, his body of work in college doesn't tell me I need to take him anywhere above the 6th round. And yet teams grasp and they grab, and they shouldn't do that, because you're going to have quarterbacks coming out this year, and you're going to have quarterbacks coming out next year. And build a foundation on your O-line and D-line, and then get your quarterback. I mean, this past year, 2022, supposed big year for quarterbacks, right? I mean, that's what they said last year, that this draft, big year for quarterbacks. Now they're saying the same thing for next year. And Caleb Williams' dad has already said, oh, wait a minute. Maybe my son comes out. Maybe he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I don't want him going to a shitty team.
Does.
Yeah.
If Arizona has the first pick, he's going back to South Carolina.
I often wonder, because you know how the NBA does it? How college does it with the NBA? You could announce that you're going to go into the draft.
I mean, Caleb Williams,
yeah.
Shit ton of money coming back with USC,
right?
Versus going to the Cardinals. Now, the one thing I did see is that I actually had it was a typo when I sent it to you. I actually have the Titans going 8-9, not 8-8. That was a typo on my part.
Gotcha.
So I
they have a DeMar Hamlin situation going on there.
Yeah, that was
little
terrible.
Monday Night Football.
The one thing that I think is interesting, though, when we look at this before we move on, is that you all have the Niners and the Chiefs winning 13 or 14 games. And I have the Niners winning 11 and the Chiefs winning 10. So I'm kind of interested to see who's going to be right with that one. Was I that wrong? Or was everybody else that right? The safe pick is that you guys were that right.
Well, I think a lot of that will be based on health. As I said before with Shanahan, he is really as an offensive. Basically, he's an offensive genius. He really is. The things he does with the plays he has, and he brings out the best of him. We saw that with Brock Purdy, and possibly if Lance had been healthy, maybe we might have seen that with Lance. Because some of the things I saw with Lance in the preseason last year, the man can throw a really good deep ball. He really can. Actually, compared to the quarterbacks they have right now, he was exceptionally accurate with his deep ball. Brock Purdy is not accurate with his deep ball and can't throw a deep ball. And by deep ball, I mean 60 yards or more. Brock Purdy is better than Jimmy G. Jimmy G could never throw a deep ball. When Jimmy G was with the Patriots, when he was with the 49ers, he could not throw a deep ball. What helped him out was that his wide receivers could run like the wind. So, you hit a wide receiver on an out, and it could be a 20-yard out, and you could cut it up and run it for a touchdown. But what I saw with Lance is he could throw the deep ball, and he could be on the money with the deep ball. He wasn't good with the other throws, unfortunately, and he never got enough time because he wasn't ever healthy to actually get better.
Yeah. Well, I just kind of realized that we still got to get in the ride or die at 5.
Yeah. Let's move on from the
Oh, yeah,
big
you
board.
do, don't you?
I did not expect the big board to be that much of a conversation starter.
Well, I mean, a lot of crazy things happen.
It's the beginning of the football season. It's got to be.
Let's get into, we've had some nice, what's up with that community comments throughout the summer that have been nice topics. There have been some favorites, but the real favorite on this show historically is without a doubt the Ride or Die in 5. This is where you can make some money, folks. So with that being said,
As long as you pick with me and Jalen and not Nestor, you can win some money.
This is where you make some money and you have a good time.
Nestor, are you texting your girl right now?
He's telling her that
setting up a barber appointment on Friday. So we can go to the game, the Rays game.
There
so we can go to the Rays game. You're looking fly as hell, huh?
So he's fresh at the Rays game.
So if Jalen's wife is watching, he's trying to pick up some honeys at Tropicana Field.
Nah, he's going to the barber shop. It's that all-female, we like to cater to you type of barber shop.
I would like the address of that barber shop.
He's
no, we got one up here, actually.
Really? Oh,
the Watson Special.
The Watson Special. Anyway, Ride or Die in 5. I don't know how we get on these tangents.
Where do we go?
So yeah, for folks that are new to the show, if you started watching us during the summertime, this is where we give our 5 best betting picks for this week in sports. Since football is back, we are picking this back up, and we're picking up right where we left off, which was during the NBA Finals. So Malin, his record is 180 wins, 121 losses. He is plus 59. I am 194 wins, 148 losses, plus 46. Shaq, who is clearly not here right now, he is 177 wins, 159 losses, plus 18. A little bit of a drop off there. Nestor is 74 wins and 58 losses, plus 15. And G Money, 97 wins and 83 losses. He is plus 14. Again, it feels really good to say all these numbers again because we haven't touched this in quite a while.
I feel great.
Yes. Malin is our fearless leader in this category. And he has been for a long time. So this category has changed a lot over the last couple of years. It is up to you where you put your money at, but we're going to start off with tomorrow night's game. First game of the season, Detroit at Kansas City at 8:20, with Detroit being 4.5-point underdogs on the road, and the money line on them is plus 185. So, Malin, you being the leader, what do you like in this one?
Okay. Well, this is one of those where you think someone's going to play or not going to play, and I'm going to base my pick on the fact that Kelsey's not going to play. I think there's going to be a lot of hype going into Kansas City. But with no Jones, with no Kelsey, I like Detroit to cover on this game. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I like Detroit to cover on this. I think that Jones and Kelsey are two really big pieces to not have on your roster. I think Gibbs is going to be a hell of a lot better than Swift at running back. I think that Detroit offense is going to be humming. We've never been sold on Kansas City's defense, and without Chris Jones, it's going to be even worse. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Detroit with the points on this, and it's 4.5, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I'm taking Detroit.
I'll go real quick here. I'm going to take Kansas City to cover the 4.5. Regardless if Kelsey plays, if this game was in Detroit, I would change my pick for sure. But being in Kansas City, opening up Kansas City in the month of September is some ridiculous record. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this one by probably about a touchdown. So give me the Chiefs. Nestor.
I agree. I think the Chiefs will pull away by a touchdown. So I think Detroit will have a great season, but I'm not sold on this first game with Travis Kelsey or without. Give me the Chiefs.
G Money?
I'm with Malin on this. When the line first came out, it was Kansas 3 plus 6.5. It's interesting it dropped 2 points or 2 points because Kelsey isn't playing. I would be more concerned that Chris Jones isn't playing. Their D-line without Chris Jones. Now remember, they didn't re-sign Frank Clark. He's gone. It's average at best. I'm taking Detroit and the points.
Can't believe I'm going to be cheering for Kansas City tomorrow.
I know.
But wanting David Montgomery to run laps around him.
I would just like to point out, Kelsey being hurt changes the entire Kansas City offense 36 hours before they play.
Yeah.
So you can try to scheme without having Jones. But Travis Kelsey being out on that offense, you got 36 to 48 hours to change your game plan.
Come on, Andy Reid. Scheme up something.
It's going to be tough. So, yeah.
All right, let's move into Sunday at 1 o'clock, which I still think the first NFL Sunday should be a national holiday, but that's just me. 1 o'clock, we've got San Francisco going to the Steelers, where the Steelers are in their own home stadium, 2.5 point underdogs. If you want to take their money line, it is just 115. I'll go first on this one. I'm actually going to take Pittsburgh and the points. I think this is going to be a very close game. I still think that San Francisco will win it in a real tight one and make Shaq curse himself out in the Discord on Sunday afternoon. But, yeah, I think it'll be a close game nonetheless, and San Francisco will win it, but Pittsburgh will be right there. I think we'll see a whole lot of T.J. Watt giving Brock Purdy some real issues. But, yeah, I think we'll get a good display of Pittsburgh's offense and showing that they can actually hang in games. But ultimately, the 49ers will win this one. But, yeah, I'm taking Pittsburgh plus 2.5. Nestor.
I'm going to go with San Francisco over Pittsburgh. I just think they have too many playmakers. They're gonna see a drop off, but later in the season, it's still Steelers. So they still got McCaffrey, Kittle, and they'll do well. Even though Brock Purdy's not that guy, they'll do well.
G Money.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this game. And I was leaning heavily towards Pittsburgh before Bosa was signed. But I think my biggest concern now is the fact that the 49ers kicker is injured. So, and they let the kicker from last year go, and they signed two basically undrafted free agents, and neither one of them has really performed. So I'm going to roll with Steelers plus 2.5. I think the Steelers defense is a lot better than people tend to give it credit. Tomlin is a solid coach, and I really, really like Pickens as a wide receiver. I mean, my God, that he may well develop into another AB without the CTE.
AB with that CTE, I love that. That is gold. I'm taking the Steelers on this too. And I know that the Niners just re-signed or just upped Bosa, right? But he hasn't been at camp. Hasn't been preseason. It doesn't matter the conditioning you do away from the team. You're not game shape ready. When you hold out the entire offseason and training camp. So I think that the Steelers are going to get Bosa at his worst, which is still going to be good. But I think that the Steelers, they're going to have a healthy Najee Harris. They still got Pickens. I think Claypool is still a really good number 2. Even though I will never not think of Claypool being that guy when the Steelers were 11-0 and saying that he's never lost in the NFL. And it was easy. Like you remember that, right, Jalen?
Oh yes, I can't forget.
He was a rookie, and he was like, "Oh, I've never lost in the NFL," and then they lost to Washington. But he's still a really good number 2. So you got Pickens, you got Claypool, Harris is healthy.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Little Piggy Pickett is playing at home. His little hands aren't going to have a hard time gripping the football because it's warm in Pittsburgh right now. That defense is really good. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh to actually win the game. But I'm taking the point spread. I'm taking the point spread, Jalen.
Okay.
Taking the point
As
spread.
you should.
I'm taking the point spread. I'm not Shaq. Okay. Shaq would just, this team's fucking winning, and just ignore the point spread. I'm taking the point spread. I do think that Pittsburgh is going to win the game.
Two things. One, I'm going to have to come up with a money line bell or something, like a sound effect for when anyone takes the money line. But two, Claypool is now a Chicago Bear. I always forget that he quietly joined the Bears.
He is.
But that's a good segue to the next game because we got Packers at the Bears. It's almost a pick'em game. Just 1 point in favor of the Bears. G-Money, who do you like in this one?
I actually like Green Bay in this one. I think everybody overlooks Jordan Love. Everybody's tied up with Aaron Rodgers and what's he going to do? Is he going to stay? Is he coming out of his cave? Is he dating? Who's he dating? What's he thinking? And Jordan Love is actually a really good quarterback. And I don't know what Chicago really. I mean, I'm torn on Chicago completely. I don't know if they have the coaching staff that is right for their quarterback. And I don't think you want your quarterback running as much as you do. I mean, I don't think you want your quarterback running for 1,000+ yards a season. I don't think that's smart. I think you need your quarterback to be a quarterback and not be your leading running back. I understand that Christian Watson may not be playing. I can't name another wide receiver that the Packers have, but I think that works in their favor though too. I think I'll take the Packers plus the 1 point, which
All right, Malin.
All right. First of all, I would just like to say, Jalen, the next time that I start talking about somebody that's no longer on a team, go ahead and interject and let me know that they're no longer on the team, so I don't make myself sound like a fucking idiot. That'd be great.
That's how much of an impact he's making on the Bears.
Now, I'm taking the Packers on this for one reason. I think Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Justin Fields. A better NFL quarterback. I think he's going to prove it. I don't think we're going to have the next Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers type of thing. But I do think that Jordan Love is going to be a really good quarterback in the NFL. And I think that we're going to see the true Matt LaFleur offense under Jordan Love that we didn't see under Aaron Rodgers. And don't forget they still got Jones at running back. He's going to be healthy. And so I still think the Packers are going to end up winning week 1. So I got to take the Packers and the +1 on this one.
Okay. Nestor.
Yep, same thing. I think Jordan Love is overlooked. I think Aaron Jones is overlooked. I think he'll be leading that offense. I think not just because he's on my fantasy team. I'm just saying. I think he would do well. And people forget how bad Chicago was last season. So give me the Packers.
I am going to be on my island taking the Bears here. I'm pretty sure I picked this, like when we picked this division, I picked them to win this game anyway. I think the Bears will be all right this year, right around 500. And this is a win that they kind of need, at home against a divisional rival. I think they're going to show how much better they are compared to last year. And Nestor, I'm a little disappointed in you. This is your quarterback right here. This is a statement game. He's going to come out here and, show that he's a new and improved quarterback.
Gonna be 40-something to 40-something, and Justin Fields is gonna run for like 3-4 touchdowns, but they'll still lose.
More along the lines of 14-10, Chicago.
That sounds more like a prayer than.
Oh God!
My goodness.
Then a good sports take. Run for 4 touchdowns and still lose. Is what Nestor's.
And then Aaron Jones is also going to run for 6 touchdowns.
Okay. So Jones is going to be the MVP front runner.
Right.
Is what you're saying. As a running back.
Right. With Justin Fields as the runner-up.
Nestor, you're adorable.
And then David Montgomery in like 3rd place or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I just have to ask before we continue. What jersey? What soccer kit are you wearing right now?
This is the World Cup champions practice jersey, Argentina.
Wow.
Okay, they got that gay pride stripe happening on the.
That's Qatar. That's they're not about gay pride. They'll shoot you if they.
I'm just saying. I'm looking at the colors. Looking at the colors.
They unintentionally, might have done a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Unintentionally, intentionally.
They go from. Never mind. They went from Israel to Germany real quick on those sleeves. Yeah.
My man's got on he's that dedicated. He's got the practice squad kit on.
It is. It's kind of like the Germany colors, and then it just goes to.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Jews to Nazis. real fast.
Like one day I'm feeling like this, and the other day.
It makes sense, you know. A lot of Nazis after World War
Yeah,
II, you know, hit out in Argentina and everything,
Let's
you
move
know.
on. We
I
are
mean, you've got
getting into the weeds. Sunday night, first Sunday night game. We've got a divisional game. Yeah, we don't need to get into Israel and the Germans. We've got the Cowboys at the Giants, where the Giants are 3-point underdogs at home. If you want to take their money line, it is plus 143. I'm not gonna lie, this is the game that I had the hardest time picking. But with that being said,
yes,
Nestor, what is your pick for this game?
Don't the Cowboys have a streak against the Giants? Is it what 7 or 10 games, something like that? Been like 7 or 8-ish, 10 straight games that they've been beating the Giants. I think, yeah.
Sure.
I think it ends here. Daniel Jones, future MVP, has got this locked down. No, give me the Giants, man, at home. Give me the Giants at home.
Are you taking the points, or you're just saying money line?
Give me the points.
No. He said Giants at home.
I mean,
he can't.
Yeah, Giants. Never mind.
Jalen.
No, I'm making sure everybody is crystal clear here. We don't want any technicalities. Nestor wants the Giants and the points. That is fair enough. I'll just go real quick. I'm saying the same exact thing, so there's that. Malin, you can go ahead.
Cowboys, week 1. That's what I got.
All right. G-Money.
Points.
Cowboys, their defense is solid. Whether or not Tony Pollard is a true number 1 running back, he will be this week. And Dak will be fine throwing to Brandon Cooks and I don't know who else he has to throw to.
CeeDee Lamb.
Is he still playing? I mean, is he not injured?
CeeDee Lamb, yes, he's playing. Jesus.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I mean, you say that, but I'm like,
Number 88, CD's nuts. That's what I'm seeing on a lot of fantasy team names.
Man just played the Giants, but just said CD nuts. That's a great. Okay, first of all, that's a great fantasy name.
That is.
Anybody that had any Dallas Cowboys fan that has that as their fantasy team, you should automatically start with a
missed opportunity, Junebug.
Right, I hope that's Junebug's team.
Yeah, what is Junebug thinking? CD's nuts. Damn.
All right. Last game on the first Monday night game. We've got a good one. The Bills at the Jets. So clearly the MetLife Stadium folks are going to have to move quick here. But anyway, we got the Jets hosting the Bills, where the Jets are 2.5-point underdogs. If you want their money line, it is plus 125. Malin, what do you like in this one?
God damn, why do I gotta go first on this one?
It's round robin.
You son of a bitch. This was the hardest one for me. God damn it.
Do you want us to come back?
I don't know that I really yet. If you can,
I'll go first. I'll go first.
This is the one that's been perplexing me the most.
I am a firm believer that the Jets are going to be similar to the COVID Bucks. So I think they struggle early before they find their way. And from watching Hard Knocks, it kind of seems that way anyway. Like they've got some kinks to work out. So I think the Bills will win a close game. I think the line is pretty accurate. This will be by around a field goal. And the Bills will win on the road, but it will be a great first Monday night game, just like last year's first Monday night game will be. It'll be a big one, prime time. I think this is also on 9/11, so in New York, it'll be a very just a huge game. So I think the Bills will win on the road by a field goal late. And so I will take the Bills to cover the 2.5 points.
I can go up next. Damn, we're really like divided on a lot of these games, but I think the opposite. As far as when the Jets will struggle and when they'll like kind of boom, I think the Bills are gonna eventually be the better team. Um, just I don't know, they're just structured better. I think Josh Allen right now obviously is better than this old man, Aaron Rodgers, crackhead like Malin calls him. But I think in this one, they, I think the Jets win. I think this is how the hype goes up to the next damn level. We are going to be annoyed by that for a significant amount of time. And right around middle of the season, they're gonna start to collapse. That's what I think is gonna happen. So, give me the Jets to win this game.
I love that Nestor is already in midseason form. He talked about how the Bills are a better team.
Just like that.
He's already peaked. Nestor form with Ride or Die in 5. We didn't even have to go to week 2 before we got one of these Nestor shown. Love it.
Nestor,
God, that's beautiful.
Just to be clear, you're taking the Jets to win, or you're taking the points?
I'm taking the Jets. Give me the Jets to win.
Shit.
Right.
Just to
Damn
win.
it, I need a fucking bell to ring or something.
Nestor's doing some Shaq shit here.
Yeah.
G Money, go ahead.
Damn.
So, I'm taking the Jets. Let's not forget that last year the Jets had the number 4 defense in the NFL. I'll say that again. The number 4 defense in the NFL. And they beat the Bills last year with God knows who at fucking quarterback.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm taking the Jets and give me the points.
You're a smart man, G-Money. Always take the fucking points. Jesus Christ. What are we?
Plus 125, Malin. It's available.
I am okay, so I am going to take the Jets and the points on this. And this is going to be a big week between Jalen and I, because I'm only plus 13, and Jalen and I are picking against each other 3 times.
I think
we're
we're
picking
on
against each other 3 times.
4 times. Yeah, 4 times.
Four times, yeah. This is going to be a big week for us. He can make up some ground, or I can gain some ground. But I think about the fact that Bryce Hall is healthy. Still got Dalvin Cook. You still got Garrett Wilson. You got all Aaron Rodgers' buddies from Green Bay. And you got that big-ass Jets defense. And like G-Money said, they did beat Buffalo last year with, I think it was Zach Wilson. Maybe he was sleeping with someone's mom. It might have been James White. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's actually his name, but I know there's a great white hype in White. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Jets on this. It's only 2.5 points. I think they'll win, but I'm taking the points. I want to make that very fucking clear, Jalen, that I'm taking the points.
I got you.
I don't think that the Jets are going to succumb to the Brady effect in the first few games. So yeah.
I mean, I hope they don't, and they're just god awful all year. But
this is going to be a big week for you and I, Jalen.
Yes.
You could either make up. I mean, I'm only up, I think, 13.
Yeah.
So,
Up here at the top, we got our own narrative going on.
yeah, we do. We got some peasants around the bottom seat there. But you know what? When it comes to Shaq, I feel really good about the fact that I'm already up 3 on him, and I'm going to be up even more because of his bitch ass don't.
Let's just go 1-4.
He doesn't get to bring in any picks after the fact either.
No.
He just doesn't get.
There are no Discord picks going on this week. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's where we're at, folks. You can put your money wherever your heart feels right. But we'll find out.
God, it's gonna be a crazy week.
Yeah,
like
week one is always
normally,
hard
you and I, Jalen, we normally pick alike.
We do, yeah.
A lot of them. So that's what's really wild is that you and I are different on a lot of these picks. This is going to be a crazy week 1.
Yeah, there's nothing to really go off of here, so it's kind of weird always. But yeah, that will do it for this week's show. Anything else you guys want to mention before we hop up out of here?
I would just like to point out that my Huskies had a big week 1 against Boise State. Michael Penix Jr. very much alive in that Heisman race.
There we go.
We played Tulsa, which we should beat the shit out of. And while we're beating the shit out of Tulsa, you, me, and Nestor are going to be at a Rays Mariners game.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be crazy. I'm going to do my best not to get us kicked out of the game. I will do my best to be on my best behavior. I promise.
Expect a video this weekend, folks. Probably that night, Saturday night, right after the game.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we want to thank you all for watching, gentlemen. We survived another off season. We're about to get back into the swing of things.
Into the real shit.
Right. G Money, thank you for joining us for another week. Always appreciate you, good sir.
And we'll be
guys are
we'll
welcome.
be talking about
Love
the late
being here.
games in no time. Don't worry about it, people.
All right, folks. We will see you all next Wednesday. Best of luck to everybody's NFL teams when you're all optimistic, except the Philadelphia Eagles. I wish you nothing but the best of luck this week. We'll see you all next week. Have a good one.
Peace out.
Peace.